প্রিয় দর্শক, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কোর ভিশন ফাউন্ডেশনের আয়োজন ভিশন ফর সাকসেসে স্বাগতম। দর্শক, জীবনের প্রতিটি ক্ষেত্রে আমরা সবাই চাই সফলতা, কিন্তু সফলতার সংজ্ঞা কি? এর মাপকাঠি কি? সম্পদ, নাম, যশ, ক্ষমতার নাম কি সফলতা? সফলতার জন্য কি অপরিহার্য? সফলতার কোনো শর্টকাট পথ আছে কি? এসব প্রশ্নের উত্তর খুঁজতেই কোর ভিশন ফাউন্ডেশনের উদ্যোক্তা উন্নয়ন কার্যক্রম ভিশন ফর সাকসেস। আমাদের আজকের বিষয় ইন্টারফেথ ডায়ালগ অ্যান্ড ইসলামিক পার্সপেক্টিভ। আসুন কোরআন ও সুন্নাহর আলোকে জেনে নেই। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি ইমাম শামসী আলী, ডাইরেক্টর জামাইকা মুসলিম সেন্টার। আসসালামু আলাইকুম। How are you, brother?
Good, alhamdulillah.
So, why you have chosen this topic is interfaith dialogue and Islamic perspective? Why it is necessary?
I think it is not only necessary, it is the need of our time. It is the need of our time because we are living in this what we call interconnected world. Means that the world is interconnected. Everybody cannot live by it or by itself. United States, if you have seen America being as a superpower, in the past several years, Barack Obama had traveled the world. He went to France to talk to the Europeans. He went to China to talk to the Chinese. He went to Africa to talk to the Africans. He went to Turkish. He went to Egypt. He went to Indonesia to talk to the Muslims. In other words, that Barack Obama realized that America cannot solve the problems that we are facing, and particularly the problem of extremism and terrorism. That itself is a good indication, a good sign, that America understands the importance of building partnership with everybody. Now, when you talk about interfaith, it is one of the most important, the need of our time, because many of the conflict of the world today is involving religion, or at least religious sentiments. People are killing one another, people are fighting one another, wars taking place in many parts of the world in the name of the religion. So I think we have that responsibility to connect the dots of goodness between all communities. Now, interfaith, I would like to underline in the beginning, interfaith is not to blend the religion to become one, because we don't believe in that. You know, for Muslims, we do believe that inna adina inna Allahi al-Islam, religion which is acceptable in the sight of Allah is Islam. That is our faith, of course, and we have the right to have that faith. The Catholic people have the right to believe that religion accepted to their God, and the Jewish people, the Christians and others. That's fine, absolutely fine. But this concept of faith does not prohibit us, does not prevent us from being working one another, because we love a lot of ground, common ground that we can make as a foundation to work to one another. I think the most important question is, does Islam justify interfaith dialogue or cooperation? Absolutely yes. And I'd like to begin by the verse that I recited oftentimes. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind. Inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. Indeed, we created you from a male and a female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا, and we made you into many nations and tribes. لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you get to know one another. Now, getting to know one another, لِتَعَارُف in Arabic language, is basically the other word of dialogue. Because the meaning of dialogue is to know one another. And the Christian people they are commanded by the Bible to say, know your neighbors, because you have to love your neighbors. How you are going to love your neighbor if you don't know them? Now, Islam wants us to be nice, to be kind, to be loving to everybody, to be merciful to everyone. We have to be compassionate to our neighbors, non-Muslims as well. And if you don't know your neighbors, how are you going to build a compassion? And so knowing one another is the other word of interfaith dialogue. And so I can say that this is a very strong justification in Islam. And some people will say, Muslims will say that, no, this is between Muslims, we have to know one another. In fact, it is a wrong interpretation. Why? Because the very beginning of the surah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O mu'min. We call the mu'min, the believers. Iman, iman, iman. Mu'min, mu'min, mu'min. When you come into the interfaith, to the dialogue, nas. So it means between people must know one another. In particular, of course, that we know Islam now is already in the middle of non-Muslim friends. In America, we are minority. The majority of our neighbors are non-Muslims. So you must know who your neighbors is. His name is Tom. He's a Christian. What he does believe, what he likes, what he doesn't like. When you talk to him, what might offend him, what might not offend him. So you have to know him. It is very crucial to build. Why? Because Muslims must show the attitude of Islam. And you cannot show the attitude of Islam properly unless you know whom you talk to, whom you behave to. So it is very important. Now, the second one is coming back to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Did he do that? Dialogue. Not by words, not by speeches, but by action. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he moved to Medina, Medina was the population of plural society. You know, there are Muslims, of course, follow Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There were Christians, there were Jews, and the pagans, the mushrikun. All these people consider themselves as nation, groups. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam moved to Medina, he did not exclude any of those simply because they have different religion. They consider them ummah. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, the Jewish and Christians are my ummah, my own nation, because they live in Medina. So what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did when he moved to Medina, the first one is building a masjid, of course we know that. The second one is internal reconciliation, try to make Muslims become brethren. The third one is building a civic constitution. And that's the first ever civic constitution in the human history. Medina Charter. It's called Ahad Medina. No single human being created such beautiful constitution more than what Prophet Muhammad did in Medina. It is almost like UN Charter, almost similar to the UN Charter in this 20th century, created by people in the 20th century. Prophet Muhammad did that in 7th century. But amazingly, in the process of creating Medina Charter, he involved every single groups of people. He invited Jews to sit down. He invited Christians to sit down. He invited even the pagans to sit down and talk about how should we have common ground as citizens here in this country, in Medina. And everybody agreed. And the longest chapter of Medina Charter, the longest chapter, is talking about the rights of minority. That when you have a non-Muslim within the Muslim society, you have to protect their rights to worship and to express themselves. So again, coming back, when you talk about interfaith dialogue, it's very much strongly justified in the religion. Unfortunately, there are some friends out there, they are extreme in two lines. Very extreme to the right and very extreme to the left. Those who are extreme to the right says that there is no such interfaith in the religion. It is haram, it is prohibited, because Prophet Muhammad did not do it. I think they missed the history. Secondly, they missed the understanding of the Quran. That the Holy Quran says, لا جناح عليكم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. There is no problem for you to be kind to them, to the non-Muslims, and to be just to the non-Muslims. And one of the best kindness is to talk to them, to know them, and to let them know. And also the ayah in Surah Al-Hujurat that I recited earlier, it says لِتَعَارَفُوا. The word ta'aruf means mutual knowledge. As we want our non-Muslim to know us, we must know them. And that is the meaning of dialogue. When you come together, I have a Jewish friend or Christian friend, I ask them questions. You know, even sometimes it's very sensitive. I ask our Christian friends, what does it mean for you to believe in Jesus as God? Of course, they are trying to explain, and they have the right to explain that to me. But I have the right to ask. And then I give them my perspective. That in Islam, Jesus Christ is one of the best prophet of Allah. He's one of the Ulul Azm, the mighty prophet of Allah. He was born miraculously, without a father. And we believe in him as a prophet, and we love him too much. Okay, I'm not a Muslim without believing in Jesus Christ. I explain this to our Christian friends, and they respect that. When I have our Jewish friend, I ask them, you know, what does it mean to be chosen? Why you consider yourself chosen people? They respond to us, sometimes very positive. They say, the meaning of chosenness is that we are given trust to convey the message of Tawheed, the message of oneness of Allah. So when they came up with that response, I said, we Muslims also believe in the same thing. That's why we have the concept of da'wah, to convey Tawheed, La ilaha illallah, to everybody. So I said to them jokingly, so we are also chosen. And one of the rabbi basically read a verse in the Holy Quran, an ayah in the Holy Quran. It says, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. That we are Muslims the best.
Yeah, but we will discuss on this issue further. We'll take a commercial break. Dear viewers, you are watching Vision for Success. There is a commercial break. We'll come back shortly. Stay with us. Dear viewers, welcome back. You are watching Vision for Success. Here with us, Imam Shamsi Ali. Yes, brother, here. I have a question, just like if we don't have any dialogue, it's my opinion. If we don't have any dialogue, we can even can't convey our perspective of the religions to others.
It is possible to convey without dialogue, of course. But through dialogue, we are minimizing suspicion. We are minimizing the hatred. Because, you can imagine more than 70% American, for example, still misunderstand Islam. They're still scared of Islam because of the media, because of some politicians. So many people are misled by media and politicians. And so in order to minimize this scare, in order to minimize this fear, or what we call Islamophobia, dialogue is the best way. Because through dialogue, we can build in them trust. They're going to trust us. They can build in them confidence. That, Muslims are coming to tell us their religion, not necessarily to convert us. And it is not our intention to convert anybody. We cannot convert anybody. If someone else converts into Islam, it is because of Allah, of course. But my responsibility is to tell them what Islam is all about. So they have this confidence that, Muslims are coming not to make us Muslim, just to tell us what Islam is all about. And they are very happy with that. There's no problem with that. So, of course, we can convey the message without dialogue. But dialogue helps us a lot in conveying the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because through dialogue, we can build friendship. We can build trust. We can build a close relation. And when they trust us, they're going to learn Islam. I still remember when there's a crazy pastor from Florida wanted to burn the Holy Quran. And I have been questioned by many pastors here in the city, asking me if there are some crazy Muslims doing some bad things around. He says, Shamsi Ali, what do you do? As a Muslim leader, what do you do? So when there is a pastor who wanted to burn Quran, I came to those pastors in the city and I challenged something. Now you have these crazy pastors, and almost every Muslim in the world know that he represents Christianity. Do you want him to represent Christianity? And all those pastors say, no, he is crazy. We don't want him to represent our religion. So I challenged them. So what are you going to do? So one of the church in Manhattan, I don't want to mention this church because otherwise it's a little bit sensitive. He purchased boxes of Quran. He purchased boxes of Quran and he distributed that Quran to his congregations on Sundays. So every Christian in his congregation read the Holy Quran, because they wanted to relieve, they wanted to kind of, redemptions, because this crazy wanted to burn Quran. So instead of burning Quran, he distributed Quran to his people. This is a secret. I don't want to tell him basically, but I just wanted to tell our Muslim friends that 3 of those people in his congregation became Muslims, because they read the Holy Quran. So my point is that this is because of my connection to these pastors, my relation with this pastor. We have been in dialogue for a long time. He invited me to his churches talking about Islam. When there was a Danish cartoon, he was the one who invited me to his church on Sunday to talk about Prophet Muhammad. Because the Danish cartoon represented Prophet Muhammad as a crazy person who wanted to bomb, that he had turban, inside of turban is a bomb. He wanted to commit suicide, bombing other people around. So he invited me to his church to talk about who Prophet Muhammad was, and they fall in love with the story. How Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his first wife Khadija, basically from the Christian family, because his cousin Waraka bin Nawfal is a priest in Makkah at the time. And then she became a Muslim, of course. She followed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the point that she became from a Christian background, and they were so happy to hear this story. And so my point is that, unfortunately, our non-Muslim friends are becoming extreme to the right, who says that there is no such. It is haram. It's not.
So, what should be the criteria actually in how we can organize this interfaith dialogue, and what should be the criteria of dialogue? Is for
There are many things. Basically, it's a long talk about the criteria on how to do it. But the first one is you have to have a self-confidence in your own religion. And that's why al-izza al-dhatiyya in Arabic language, in the language of the Holy Quran, having self-confidence is very necessary. So when you talk to the people, you don't have to be shaken. Oh, I'm talking to a big rabbi.
So anybody should not organize this kind of dialogue without having...
Not necessarily. You have to be confident, number one, because you don't have any... Secondly, you have to have knowledge about your religion. If you don't have anything in your hand, can you give something? Of course not. So if you don't have any proper knowledge about Islam, you are not in that position to engage in an interfaith dialogue. Okay. Thirdly, you have to see your other partner as equal to you. Don't see that you are bigger, because it means you tend to teach them. No. Dialogue means you have to listen as well. You are talking, but at the same time you have to listen. That's the meaning, exchanges, ideas and opinions. Thirdly, you have to have a positive thinking. You have to see your partner as someone who is going to contribute and to give you something beneficial. Sometimes we don't like it, but at least we listen to him and understand his perspectives. That's what dialogue is all about. And so there are a lot of things to talk about this, but I just wanted to say, and coming back again, that there are also extreme left. The extreme right say haram. The extreme left is making religions all the same, and that is wrong. Islam is not same with Catholic. Catholic is not same with Judaism. Judaism is not same with Hinduism. It's different, and it's very fundamental different. How are you going to say that Islam and Catholic is the same when we Muslims believe that Jesus is a human being, while our Catholic friends believe that Jesus is a God, or a son of God, or incarnated God? We don't believe in his divinity, that he's God. So how are you going to say Catholic and Islam is same? Of course not. This is the extreme left. We'll
take a short break. We'll come back soon. Dear viewers, you are watching Vision for Success. Here with us Imam Shamsi Ali, and we are talking about interfaith dialogue. Stay with us. Dear viewers, welcome back. You are watching Vision for Success. We are discussing interfaith dialogue and Islamic perspective. Here with us Imam Shamsi Ali. Yes, brother, we are discussing that.
So there are some people who are to the left who say that all religions are same. Of course, that is wrong, because we Muslims must believe that. I believe in Islam because I do believe that Islam is truth, and nothing wrong with that position, because I know our Catholic friends also believe in the same thing. Some Christian friends also believe in the same thing. Jewish friends also believe in the same thing, that the religion is the only religion that can save them. And so the point is that you have to be strong in your faith while respecting others. That is the meaning of interfaith. But you cannot blend religion into one religion. And that's why diversity, the concept of diversity, means you have to acknowledge the differences that you have. Now, I think one of the most important ground why interfaith is so important in this modern time, because the many conflicts that we see drag the religion into that conflict. In Syria, for example, between Sunni and Shia, in Iraq, Sunni and Shia, that is internal Muslim affairs. But then you have, for example, Palestinian and Israeli issue, where Jews and Muslims, of course Christians also involved, it's a religious sentiment. And then in some other issue, Northern Ireland, for example, Catholic and Protestant have been involved. In Myanmar, Buddhists massacre Muslims there. In India and Muslims also, they have conflict. They have some tension and issues. So I think we Muslims must be in the front line to contribute into eliminating, if not it's at least minimizing this conflict, by using our goodwills as Muslims, by building interfaith dialogue. When there is a conflict in Myanmar, there is one friend here, he happened to be the president of Buddhist Council in New York. I invite him to come to a lunch, and I talk to him. Say, look at, your religion is a religion of peace. It's a non-violent religion. But what happened in Myanmar? And they also say, this is not our religion. This is people who do that. But the problem is that when some Muslims are doing it, they say Islam, right?
Yes.
And that's what I told them. So I just wanted to tell him that, religion can be abused in any way, by anybody. And that's why Islam cannot be blamed alone. It can happen in all communities. So I work with these friends to connect with some Buddhist monk in Myanmar so that they can connect with some Muslim leaders in Myanmar. And it works. There are some Buddhist monk and Muslim leader in Myanmar. They're working together to minimize this tension. Because the Myanmarese people, the non-Muslim, they are so scared of Muslims are coming and they are making Myanmar to become a Muslim country like Indonesia used to be Hindu kingdom and then I become Muslim. They are so scared of kind of things. So interfaith is minimizing this kind of scare, minimizing this kind of fear by building trust and confidence to one
So
another.
do you think the Muslims, particularly the mosque and other religious organizations, are taking enough initiative to explore, to build this interfaith dialogue?
I can say not yet, while it is very necessary. What happened after December 11, there were some mosques attacked. And some of those mosques who were attacked simply because they are not reaching out to their neighbors to build friendship and building trust with their neighbors. But my mosque here in Astoria, Jamaica, not Jamaica, at this time I'm not Jamaica Muslim Center, with Masjid al-Hikmah, we built relation with churches around. They came to us and they offer help, whatever they can do for us. They brought flour after September 11. That's why I was invited to represent the Muslim at the Yankee Stadium event to meet with Bush, because I was building interfaith works with non-Muslims around. So my point is that I think we need to do this because it's very important, especially living in America in this kind of high level of Islamophobia. One of the best way to do this is building friendship with other people around us.
Like this is the time of we are doing fasting when we are breaking fast.
Yes.
With iftar and other thing, and we are confined within ourselves. We are not inviting our non-Muslim friends,
Yes.
Our neighbors. We are not actually exchanging for Eid and other things.
Exactly, and that's why it's very important to invite our neighbors to come and enjoy the end of the day with us, because one of the meaning of iftar is to enjoy finishing
And this is
our
also
fasting.
an opportunity.
Yes, and my organization, the Santara Foundation, for example, is organizing special iftar for interfaith leaders, so they can come and enjoy with us the evening. They can exchange views with us, and I will ask some of those to speak, and I will speak about Islam and the Muslim issues. And so this is the way we become closer. And believe me, many non-Muslim friends out there defend Islam. In time that, for example, Donald Trump attacked Islam, there are many even Jewish rabbis stood up strongly to defend Islam. There are 10,000 people signed on internet against Donald Trump when he said that he's going to ban Muslims coming to the United States. Jewish, more than 10,000 people. There are many rabbis that I know spoke out very strongly against Donald Trump. Why they spoke out strongly against Donald Trump? Because we have built a relation with them. That's the result of interfaith dialogue. If I'm just sitting inside of the masjid, making zikr, making ibadah, praying, do you think they will change their minds about Islam? And I would like to end possibly with this story. My friend, one of the rabbi who used to hate Islam. So one day he invited me to meet because he have seen me on the TV a lot. And he said, no, I wanted to work with you. So I asked him why. He said, because I see Islam is growing no matter what. Try to be pressure, but it's still growing. So I wanted to work with him. He was hating Islam. But you know what? After long time working, partnership, cooperation, not only that he is not hating Islam anymore, he defends Islam anyway. Even Sharia. Everywhere he's talking, Sharia is just like Jewish law. The Jewish is circumcised. Okay, Muslims are circumcised. Sharia for them. The Jewish people eat kosher. Muslims eat halal. So if Sharia is a threat to America, why Jewish law is not a threat to America?
Yes.
Everywhere he spoke, he defended Islam. This is one of the rabbis. This is just one example. From being so suspicious, so scared, so Islamophobic, so fearful, hateful to Islam, to become friends and to become even defender of the religion.
So what would be your advice for our viewers today?
I think number one, we have to continue open our minds. Sometimes the way we understand Islam is very close-minded. we open our mind, we have to see where we live, the time where we live in, so that we can change the way we understand religion, the verses of the Holy Quran. But don't forget, no matter how people behave towards Islam, Islam doesn't want us to hate them back. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam worked together with everybody, worked with the Jewish, with Christians, with the pagans for common ground. And this is also one of the biggest sunnah that we need to follow, to work with everybody.
Thank you very much, Imam Shamsi Ali, to being with us.
Sure.
I believe the viewers will learn lesson from this discussion. Thank you once again.
Sure.
দর্শক, সফলতার কোনো শর্টকাট পথ নেই। সফলতার জন্য অপরিহার্য হচ্ছে অন্যকে জানা, অন্যের ধর্মকে জানা এবং অন্যের ধর্মের প্রতি শ্রদ্ধা রাখা, এবং আমাদের বিভিন্ন সময়ে বিভিন্ন বিষয়ে অন্যকে ইনভলভ করা। অপরিহার্য হচ্ছে ভিশন। প্রতিটি সফলতার পেছনে রয়েছে একটি ভিশনারি উদ্যোগ। ভিশনারি উদ্যোক্তারা বদলে দিতে পারেন সমাজ, অর্থনীতি ও কর্মসংস্থানের চেহারা, হতে পারেন অন্যের জন্য প্রেরণার উৎস। ভিশন আত্মবিশ্বাস, পরিশ্রম এবং ধারাবাহিক চেষ্টা এনে দিতে পারে সাফল্য। আসুন সফলতার জন্য সেভাবেই চেষ্টা করি। হতাশার কথা নয়, নতুন প্রজন্মকে ভিশনারি উদ্যোক্তা ও পরিশ্রমী হতে এবং ইতিবাচক ভাবতে শেখাই। অনুষ্ঠান সম্পর্কে আপনার পরামর্শ ও মতামত লিখুন visionforsuccessusa@gmail.com। অনুষ্ঠানটি প্রচারিত হবে প্রতিদিন রাত 9টায়, পুনঃপ্রচার সকাল 11টায় এবং দুপুর 2:30। ইনশাআল্লাহ আবারও দেখা হবে আগামীকাল এই সময় এখানে টাইম টিভিতে। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।